Hi guys, so today we're going to be making a sweet paste crust for a chocolate tart. So we'll be creaming together 208 grams of soft butter and 187 grams of sugar on medium speed for about a minute. You're going to be adding about a quarter of a teaspoon of vanilla extract, so you're going to use a beater attachment. By beating our butter, we're introducing air into our mixture, but you don't want a lot of air, otherwise if you add too much, your dough will become more crumbly. You don't want to overmix it, especially this early in the game. We're going to be rolling it out later, and if you overmix it now, you're going to be getting a tough dough. Okay, so next we're going to be bringing our 83.5 grams of eggs, whole eggs, to 24 degrees Celsius, and adding them in 3 parts while scraping down after each addition. After that, we're going to be adding 417 grams of sifted flour and mix it till it's just combined. Okay, so we're going to take our bowl scrape and scrape down the dough. We're going to be putting it on some parchment paper and making it into a little package. So I use a bowl scrape because the dough is tacky. It just makes it easier to work with. So after we make our dough into a little rectangle, make it into a package, we're going to throw it into the freezer. So I'm going to take a 9-inch pie plate. You can use any size that you want, however many people you're trying to feed. I have to oil it, and we're going to throw some flour down onto the plastic, or however you want to shape your pie. I like to use this plastic because it does show how big you want your pie, and it's easier to work with. It's also non-stick, so it stays nicely. Easy, simple, done. So we're going to throw down some flour, we're going to roll it out, we're going to roll it back onto our pie plate, and then we're going to throw it back in the freezer to chill. So that we're going to throw it into the freezer before we bake it, just so that way it gets a nice crunch, it gets a nice color on your pie. I don't typically blind bake with beans when I'm using a sweet paste. It's up to you. I still prick it, so as we'll see later. So if you don't chill your dough before you throw it onto the pie plate, it's just easier to just throw it on how I just did. That's why one of the reasons I love my silicone mat, because I'm impatient. I don't want to throw it back in the freezer for a quick minute. So our dough is very forgiving. It makes it easier. You can see that there's a little bit of some crumble and breaks in it. We're just throwing it back together. Sticks nicely. You won't even be able to see it in the finished product. So after we push it down, we're going to prick it. I like to tamp it down first using this tamp. I learned about it at my other job, and so I finally bought one. Easy, simple, done. Tap it out, and then you're going to prick it. Then I like to take off the excess dough. Otherwise, it's going to look funny when you bring it out. Okay, so with our excess dough, I'm just going to throw it into a Ziploc bag. And then I'm going to date it. I can use it at a later time. My roommates are probably going to watch this and go, Maya, we both know that you're not going to actually use this, but we're still putting in the effort. So, okay, so I turned up the oven to 340 because I kind of got impatient after 40 minutes of it baking. I think next time I'll just do 340 for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, I quickly reached a boil on 122 grams of whole milk, 190 grams of heavy cream, and 22 grams of white sugar. In a separate bowl, I whisked together 4 egg yolks and 22 grams of white sugar. Here we are tempering in our egg yolks. So you don't want to end up cooking your eggs, so don't pour in your heavy cream mixture all at once. You just want to go slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. So when we're done tempering in our eggs, we're going to return it back to the heat and bring it to 85 degrees Celsius. Okay, so now that your egg mixture is at 85 degrees Celsius, you're going to strain your mixture over 112.5 grams of dark chocolate. Then you're going to let it sit for 1 minute. I chose this chocolate tart because my Mutzi, my grandmother, she says you can never have too much chocolate. So this one's for you, Mutzi. Okay, so we're letting it sit for a minute. Now that it's been sitting for a minute, we're going to be emulsifying it. So we're combining it, mixing it together. And then we're going to be pouring it in our cold, already baked shell. And then we'll be throwing it into the fridge until it's set. Normally it takes like a couple hours. Just wait. Okay, so now that we've pulled our tart out of the fridge, we're going to do the tap test. It's fully set. So we're going to throw some Maldon salt on, and then we will be dusting it with icing sugar. So there you have it, folks, your sweet paste crust with a chocolate tart filling. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.